AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. I am going to absolutely murder this name. Jean-Louis Dassier. How did I do?
Great.
Hey, great. How about that? I got a win here this morning. Our visit with Jean-Louis Dassier is presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 4 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. You can visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Dr. Dassier with the IUP Department of Language, Literature, and Writing, and he and Dr. Jeffrey Santicola from the Department of Hospitality and Employment Relations are putting together a program that is coming up on April the 17th. It's a one-day immersive workshop, Passport to France. So, wow, that's a interesting topic. Let's visit on that one this morning. What spurs you to do something like this?
Well, I don't know whether your listeners know, but France is the #1 tourist destination in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last 2 years, I mean, at least the data that we have for 2024, 2025, has averaged 102 million visitors.
Wow.
So we thought that maybe some of them came from Western PA and that we could help them make their travel and their experience a lot more enjoyable.
That's interesting because, many people think France, you're going to Paris. Doesn't have to be that, though, does it?
That doesn't have to be that way. As a matter of fact, part of the workshop, that would be the last session. There will be a keynote, 4 sessions, lots of games, lots of food. But the last session is about, well, you thought about Paris. What about other places in France?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I'm from the south of France. I'm from the Marseille area. So, of course, I'm going to push really hard for them to go visit my hometown. But we have also special guests. We have Pierre-Henri Mayer, who is the director of the summer courses in Nancy, right real close to the German border, who is our special guest, and will be also talking about traveling to France and his area. So yes, we're going to get people to think about other places than Paris, if possible.
Yeah, but if they want to go there, they're invited too.
Oh, it's a great place. You know, Paris is like a giant museum. It's great to visit. You just don't want to live there. And I know because I lived there for 20 years.
The program is coming up on the 17th.
April 17th.
Mm-hmm. And it will be where?
It will be at the Allenwood restaurant in the basement of Ackerman Hall on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And it will start, it's very soft in terms of the hours, but we will officially open the gates at 8 o'clock. We'll prepare people to start mixing together, talking about their plans. We'll start with a really good continental breakfast prepared by Jeffrey Santicola and his team. Fresh croissant, pain au chocolat, quiche Lorraine, madeleines, tea, coffee, juice, everything you need.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll go into the keynote, which is the title, I just finished writing it, is Why France and Why Now?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about this. Then we're going into the heavy stuff in the morning. We're going to talk about all the things that are kind of scary when you travel, like what to do at the airport, what about my visa before I go, because these things are changing. In the last quarter of 2026, the European Union and the Schengen area is starting a new process so that you still won't need a visa, but you will need to apply online for basically a permit.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about all these things, what to do when you're at the Paris airport, because I travel internationally, and I remember the first time that I landed in Amsterdam, not speaking Dutch, and that was scary. So this workshop is basically for people traveling as a family if they want to, bring their kids, but also to try to get all these things, all these little problems, potential problems, take care of them before they leave so that they can really enjoy the experience.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're basically taking us from before we even leave for the airport and all the way through the excursion.
And we're going to do my favorite thing, which is because my root is that I'm a foreign language professor. So we're going to have not a grammar, not a vocab, hard, let's take the pop quiz kind of lesson, but we're going to give some survival French tips.
Okay.
You're at the airport, you need this, what do you say?
Mm-hmm. And how do you say it?
And how do you say it? And how do people understand you? So we're going to do a lot of this stuff. It's going to be fun. We have a bingo. That's going to go a bingo game that's going to start in the morning all the way to 3:30 when the last session um, finishes. We have a travel portfolio system, so the keynote and every session, people will be collecting information that's relevant to what they know or don't know about traveling, and they'll be able to keep that, and that's going to be basically their preparedness portfolio before they leave. We're trying to get them some value.
Yeah, and we should emphasize this is not just for the university community. It's
Oh,
for
no,
anybody.
no, no. As a matter of fact, when I proposed this to the university, I really wanted to reach out in the community more than the university. You know, we have Michelle Petrucci on campus in the Office of International Education. She does a great job with university kids. I don't need to teach them what to do. But it's for people in the community, and I met several of them who told me, oh, I had traveled to France, but you would not believe when I got to Roissy, Charles de Gaulle, the problems that I had. I said, you know what? Maybe there's an opportunity for the university to teach you how to do it properly next time.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea, and to be able to carry it out like this. Now, is there a cost for people to come?
There is a cost. The first person, if they come as a family, the first person is $150, and every member of the family after that is $100. Basically, we're trying to cover the food, the cost of food, because we're going to feed people really, really well. I mentioned the breakfast, but we also have a lunch with snacks through the day and beverages through the day. But Jeffrey Santicola is doing really well in terms of the food. And the funny part is that when he came up with the menu, he emailed me and he asked me, is that French enough? So I said, yes. Let me tell you about the menu for the lunch. Soup à l'oignon, so French onion soup. Leeks with vinaigrette, crouton, and hazelnuts. Parisian sandwich, caprese sandwiches. Assortment of French macarons. So I'm hungry. Just
That's lunch.
really, yes,
Wow.
that's lunch. Yes,
Wow.
yes. And you know, every Friday he has a lunch at the Allenwood for people in the community to come. And so on that Friday, it will be Passport to France.
What a beautiful idea. Okay, so when we talk about France, and we touched upon Paris and the south of France, which is where you are from, France it's really different countries all pasted together, isn't it?
That's correct. My students, you know, I teach a lot of culture classes. I've been doing that a lot in the past few years. They have a hard time understanding that basically France is the size of Texas, but we have so many different cultures. I mean, not even talking about the population that has migrated to France, just the regional cultures are so different. In the Middle Ages, you could draw a line basically around the middle of France, going through Lyon. People to say yes in the south of that line would say "uck." People in the north would say "all." The two languages would be different, basically. So France is really a tapestry of regional languages, and that's what we're going to try, and regional cultures. And that's really what we're going to try to get people to anticipate a little bit, because if they think that what they see in movies about Paris will apply all throughout the territory, they're going to have a whole rude awakening.
Yeah. Geographically, it's also quite different from one area to the next, is it not?
Oh, it's very, very diverse and varied. In France, you have some of the highest mountains, like in the French Alps, the Mont Blanc, some of the most beautiful beaches, like, of course, everybody knows about the Riviera, but also the Normandy beaches are wonderful, you know, where D-Day took place in 1944. French Brittany is very atypical. As a matter of fact, the language that they spoke regionally in French Brittany is closer to Welsh than it is to French, you know? And then you can go toward the southwest, and you go toward Basque Country at the border with Spain. And here again, the culture, the food is so different. They like their spicy food down there. And of course, Provence, where I'm from, is very culturally different from all these places. You know, I'm going to make people salivate, I hope, with my beautiful pictures of these lavender fields in the Luberon and how modern Marseille has become. We have one of the biggest museums, that's the Museum of Mediterranean Cultures. In Marseille, we call it Le Musem. And the architecture of this building is incredible, and I visited it twice since it opened. Inside, it's also mind-blowing. So
You know the answer to this question before I ask it, because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to ask it. But when we talk about the geography and we talk about going at a certain time of the year, seasonally, does it change? A recommendation to visit this region might be different at one season of the year than it is another.
Well, that really depends on your tolerance for the weather. I, if you're going in the middle of the summer and you cannot stand high temperatures, don't go to Marseille. Okay,
Okay.
it's going to be hot, and the only relief you're going to have is on a day when this wind called Mistral is blowing because it cools down everything else. But according to when, and that's one of the aspects that we're going to be dealing with during the workshop, when you travel should also dictate what you visit.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to get at. The when of the trip.
Yes.
Of the journey is important as well. All of these different considerations, and we're going to learn about all of these
Absolutely.
at this one-day event. So it's going to begin at what time of the day?
So we're going to welcome people around 8 o'clock. The keynote is going to start at 9, if I remember my own planning. So in the meantime, we're going to talk, we're going to socialize, we're going to enjoy the breakfast that Jeffrey and his students have prepared. And then there is a soft end around 3:30. That's when we're going to collect the portfolio, give the badges, the participation certificates, and the hard close for me, because I will have been on campus since 8 o'clock, will be 4:45. But we're hoping that the Allenwood would be would be deserted before that.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a wonderful event. It's Friday, April the 17th.
That's correct.
For people who want information or want to, do they need to reserve a spot ahead of time?
Well, yes, and registration closes this Friday, and it's basically limited to the first 60 participants.
Okay.
So go quickly, reserve your spot. We have a website at IUP. If you go around Philly Street, several of the businesses have our posters and trifolds. There is a QR code. You just put your phone on this QR code and you'll be led directly to the website.
Very good. Very good. Thank you for coming in to tell us about it. Sounds like a fascinating day.
Thank you for inviting me.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Good morning to you. 9:25, Westwood One Sports Next, brought to you by S&T Bank. People Forward Banking.